Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. This session is about Introduction to Research in Language Teaching. I hope and expect this would provide you some understanding of the research that is being carried out in language teaching. Well, my dear students, research is engagement in inquiry with the goal of understanding a phenomenon in the world through the systematic collection, analysis, and interpretation of data. I would say this is one of the simplest definitions of research. Now, the question is, why to conduct research in language teaching? The answer is there are various reasons why we need to do that, which include the following. 1. Engaging in research allows you to learn about a range of perspectives on the issues you are interested in. Research can allow you to have a clear rationale for your teaching choices that you make. For example, in a language teaching classroom, when you make choices of which methodology you would use, what kind of materials you would use, how much time you would give, for example, to a particular activity, all these they need to be addressed with a kind of perspective where you have some background knowledge to take these decisions, and research provides this knowledge. Secondly, conducting research can have a direct, relevant impact on your classroom, your students, and your teaching. And this becomes even more crucial in language teaching because language is something that we use almost all the time in our everyday interactions, in our everyday life activities. It can also help you to refine your teaching philosophy and pedagogical approach. The more you are knowledgeable, the more you know about what is a particular approach or a particular philosophy or a particular method, the more you know how far it is beneficial, how far it is not, the more you know how in various contexts it is used in various ways and has given various results. The more you look into all these findings of research, the more you are prepared to have some improvement and refinement in your own teaching philosophy and your pedagogical, approach. In addition, research provides you with an opportunity to become part of a teacher-researcher community of practice, which provides you with connections and networks upon which to depend and to which you can contribute. So, for example, as an action researcher, you can do research in your classroom, and you can, on internet, you can share with a network of or with a community of other teachers or other researchers, and you can benefit from their research and they can benefit from your research. The benefit of research in language teaching is that it is applicable to your language classroom. It is collaborative in the sense that it helps you integrating you into a teacher-researcher community practices where all the other teachers also perform the same. And thirdly, by empowering you for you and your participation in your research with the help of all the participants who contribute to your data that you use. Well, when it comes to the classification of research in language teaching, there are various ways of classifying the types of research that are linked to language teaching. In terms of the type of research design used, such as descriptive and experimental research or cross-sectional research or correlational research. Well, descriptive research attempts to describe the phenomenon in itself. It is, as the word tells, it is of descriptive nature. It is naturalistic in context. Whereas experimental research, as the name tells, it manipulates the variables under a controlled situation. So when a classroom language teaching research is to be conducted, a controlled environment in a classroom where the teacher would control various variables. For example, the teacher would focus on a particular skill. The teacher would eliminate another particular item from the language teaching. The teacher would use a particular methodology, not allowing other methodologies to come in, would be more like experimental research. As far as correlational research is concerned, it examines associations between one variable and the other, and this studies can be classified in terms of their data collection methods as well. In this respect, there can be, for instance, quantitative research, qualitative research, and mixed method research. This division or this classification is based on the type of data that is collected. Well, when it comes to quantitative research, it involves, as the term itself tells, numerical data and statistical procedures. So it would provide you percentages of different aspects of language teaching and learning in different environments, whereas qualitative approach would tell you It would provide you verbal data or texts and their interpretations, for example, of the feelings and behaviors or attitudes or practices or performances in the classrooms. A mixed method approach, in fact, is a combination of both the quantitative and the qualitative. Well, there is a third way of classifying research studies, that is in terms of their objectives. Studies can be exploratory in nature or they can be explanatory in their objectives. Exploratory research aims to discover the ideas to understand the phenomenon by attempting to generate new perspectives or hypotheses from the data, and a language teacher can do it like any other subject teacher. When it comes to the explanatory research, actually, as the term itself tells, it provides explanations of the relationships between various variables. It provides explanations of the phenomenon, of the processes, etc. So for a language teacher, when it comes to research, from the explanatory perspective, it is a research into the processes and explaining them, how do they take place. Finally, studies can be classified in terms of the time frame for the data collection. Hence, we have cross-sectional studies and longitudinal studies. Cross-sectional studies, by the way, involve data collected at a particular time point or during a short period of time. And for a language teacher, for example, at a particular level, what is the language proficiency or what is the skill proficiency of the learners? This can be an area of research. When the longitudinal studies are to be explored, when these are the studies that involve data that is collected over an extended period of time, where, for example, a language teacher can explore how, for example, a particular language skill or all the integrated language skills of a learner have developed, over a year or over a period of 2 years or over a course, etc. So, these are different varieties of research and classifications of research, and a language teacher can exploit any of these or can use any of these to carry out research, to be a part of the community of language teaching researchers and teachers.